And now we turn it over to Josh Boyko for a look at this week's sports.
And Josh, I hear the NFL recently made a stop in Fargo.
That's right, Alex. North Dakota State University has built a reputation with the NFL teams that's attracted scouts to their pro day workouts year after year. I went to NDSU to talk with the players, hoping to hear their name called on draft night.
On a snowy winter day in Fargo, NDSU football players showcased their abilities in front of scouts for 18 NFL teams.
For the last 5 years, NFL teams have selected North Dakota State players in the draft. Behind me now, Jalen Sundell highlights the class that looks to make it 6 years in a row.
It's really a dream come true, watching all the guys that were in the front of the room, when I was a freshman, come out here and do it, and then, to finally do it yourself, it was an awesome deal.
The athletes took part in drills like the 40-yard dash, the 3-cone drill, the 20-yard shuttle, and individual position work.
I think anytime you can get in front of assistant O-line coach, an O-line coach, an area scout, whatever it may be, and work out in front of them, I think it's valuable. It's big anytime I can get in front of somebody in an NFL organization and work out. Yeah.
To prepare for Pro Day, both Jalen Sundell and Jake Kubas took practice reps with former Bison players Billy Turner and Cordell Volson, who have gone pro.
Cordell was that guy in the front of the room that you look up to, you want to be him. And Billy's been, training with us actually. He's been in the cities with us and gotten to know him a little bit better. So it was awesome to have support.
NDSU offensive linemen drafted in the last decade have prided themselves on positional flexibility, something teams value in mid-round picks.
I think they're all mostly looking at me as a center, but being able to play all five is valuable to every team. And if you're not starting, that's what they expect you to do in the NFL.
With Pro Day in the books and Draft Day looming large, the only thing left to do as a prospect is wait to hear your name. With photographer Alex Sapp, Josh Boyko, Campus News Sports.
The NFL Draft will be in Detroit on April 25th. MSU Moorhead has kicked off the outdoor track and field season by crushing school records. Sophomore Shavante Roberts broke the 100-meter record, clocking in at 11.75 seconds at the South Dakota Early Bird Meet. The previous record of 11.79 seconds stood for 36 years. Senior Ashley Hokinson broke her own record in the pole vault, topping nearly 14 feet for a fourth-place finish. Roberts, Hokinson, and the rest of the Dragons traveled to Jamestown yesterday and are now shifting their focus to the next meet at the U of M. Rugby is growing in popularity around the country, with MSUM offering teams for both men and women. Caitlin Zeiger reports on how one coach is fostering both a winning culture and a welcoming environment.
Here at MSUM, the women's rugby team is growing every semester as new players join. But right now is the best time for new players so they can learn with their teammates and coach.
With this sport, kind of just getting thrown right into it is the best way to learn.
It's hard to just go into a game and learn everything. But this team has a volunteer coach, Athena Aiken, who is teaching these ladies more than just the sport of rugby.
Coach, she does this straight by volunteering. She's not paid to do any of this. She's just here for her love of rugby and her love of us.
She's so knowledgeable about all of rugby. I feel like I could ask her any question about it and she would know the answer, or at least be able to give me, an answer that she thinks is the best.
Coach Aiken has been with Moorhead for over a decade and has just been inducted into the 2024 class of North American Indigenous Athletics Hall of Fame.
It's just cool to be recognized just in general, because it is kind of a thankless job sometimes. It's more for me than anything else.
She's such a determined, strong woman that I just I look up to her so much.
I don't think I would continue rugby without her.
The team has more to learn from Coach Aiken as they gear up for their next upcoming matches and to their team goal of making it to a national championship. With photographer Jalen Wagner, Caitlin Zeiger, Campus News Sports.
The next women's rugby game kicks off this afternoon versus Bemidji State. NDSU will be facing new competition in Summit League soccer. The University of Delaware has announced that its men's team will be joining the conference. The Blue Hens will be the 6th men's soccer program in the league starting in 2025. The remainder of Delaware sports will remain in the Coastal Athletic Conference. They'll be joining other schools like the University of St. Thomas and Oral Roberts. The soccer team has made 5 NCAA appearances, holds 3 CAA conference titles, and has had over 20 All-Americans. The international sport netball was introduced to MSUM this year and has been welcomed by many with open arms. Reporter Jacob Anderson met with the netball club to discuss the sport's journey to Moorhead.
Short pass! Short pass!
At MSUM, a new club sport has been introduced that many Americans are not familiar with. MSUM's netball club president and South African native, Jordan Brett, has been playing the sport since she was young. And when she came to Minnesota, she noticed it had no presence.
And I got here expecting it to still be a big sport, and it just wasn't. And so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to start it up. I miss it so much, it's going to happen.
Netball may look like basketball but with no backboard, but there is a bit more to the sport than just no backboard.
There's no dribbling and there's no moving with the ball. So it's more of a passing strategic game, and some people have areas that they're restricted to.
The club has welcomed students with no experience prior to joining, which was the case for almost every student that joined.
It's just fun because everybody's starting out at ground zero, but there's so much learning. It's like more casual, but also quite enjoyable because everyone's, starting from the same spot.
There's so many rules that you have to learn, but when you learn those rules and go through the routine of actually playing, you're like, wow, this is actually really fun.
Despite its challenges, netball has been beneficial for athletes in the club and for Jordan.
I have absolutely loved netball. It's kind of like a unique sport just because it's not offered anywhere else.
Oh, what? People love it, and they have a lot of fun with it, and that's all I can ask for.
Jordan also says it's been fantastic to bring a sport she grew up with to MSUM and hopes its popularity grows across the region. With photographer Isabella Turnus, Jacob Anderson, Campus News Sports.
Jordan says the MSUM's club is the first organized college netball club in the upper Midwest.